Okay, as promised, we're about to tell you about the downside to some of the changes we've been chatting about. If you're just tuning in, this is Lowcountry Money Talk. Phil Bloyd is here unpacking the Secure Act 2.0 with us right now. Thank you.
Get ahead of it.
Get ahead of it.
Yes.
So we walked us through some of the potential changes, and again, this hasn't passed yet, so we're just sort of walking through what is included should this pass. And one of the things we keyed you up for here on the break is really talking about the downside. We got to talk about that because we want to unpack the penalties, what this exactly might mean.
Sure, I'm from the government. I'm here to help you.
You're here to,
You know, you ever heard that? So usually when there's a carrot, there's a stick, you know,
Right.
so we'll look for the stick a little bit here. But we mentioned, what was it we were talking about before? We were talking about the penalty.
Yeah.
Of 50% if we miss the distribution. So then they said, okay, and this maybe what we'll do is if you miss it all together, maybe we'll lower it to 25%. But maybe if you catch it on your own pretty quickly, you know, we'll do 10%.
Right. So some good changes, really.
You know.
Less
You can always
penalties.
write letters, but you know, the thing is, if I'm a senior and you know, I could be sick, I could be waiting to take my distribution till the end of the year. And I could have a hospitalization or, you know, hurt my hip or whatever and be in rehab and miss my whole distribution.
Yeah.
So the first thing, if that happened to me, I would write a letter and say, hey, you know, please forgive me, I was sick or something.
Right,
you know,
right.
may or may not work. But, you know, a lot of times not to be afraid of the IRS. If you write them a letter and explain, and they can see this is not a pattern,
Right.
you know, they may be a little forgiving to say.
Sure, yeah, especially if you're, fessing up, right, and recognizing the mistake.
You know,
yeah.
life happens.
Right.
But that penalty is one thing I think that would be really good to get that square because
Yes.
that is very harsh.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it really is. So a change, I think, would be good. So now let's talk a little bit about, how does this exactly work? So usually the RMDs are based on age, ratio, life expectancy, and I don't really understand exactly how this plays into the changes here.
Well, I'm a little worried about that. So they put out a table and they say, okay, this is how much you have to take out. You get a fair market value. We've spoken about that on the show before. The fair market value is the value of your account the year before, December 31st, and there's a ratio based upon your age you can divide or you can multiply, and it says this is how much you have to take out. So the thought would be is if I don't have to take out till 75, I don't have as many years to average that out. So I would think that the distribution may be higher as a ratio of the overall account.
Okay, yeah, no, that...
So we have to, it didn't happen that way last time, but that's one of the concerns here. Because if I'm mandated to take out more and they raise that ratio up, guess what? It can affect the taxation on my Social Security.
Okay, so there's a whole other topic. Let's discuss that. How would it affect Social Security, maybe Medicare?
Yeah. Well, it could cause me to have to take a larger amount, or let's put it like this, it could cause me to pay taxes on a larger amount of my Social Security because up to 85% of my Social Security may be taxable. So this, if I was at maybe 50%, this, if I'm taking more, it could push me up.
Right.
So that's one concern, and so then I would actually be paying more in taxes, right? If I have to take out a larger distribution, I'll have to pay more taxes on that. Could cause the taxes on my Social Security to be more, and then maybe I have some problems with my Medicare premium as well.
Wow. So it's interesting how, these changes really, there's a ripple effect here. There's one thing plays into the next, and for many, it's sort of difficult to navigate and
It's
really
getting
deciding what to
a little
do.
more confusing, Jessa. So again, more things to keep up with. And the problem is many of these custodians of these plans have fewer employees now.
Right, yes.
And they're already backed up. So I
Right.
could see maybe some errors. So we really need to stay on top of it.
Right, absolutely. Well, if that does pass, we'll have you back again, to really talk this through and in more detail. But you're in luck. We have another segment of Lowcountry Money Talk after this break, and we hope you'll stick around.